I am known on social media as Z Tukerson, but who am I really? My name is Zach, I'm 19, and I was born on the 30th of May 2006 in a small town in Scotland. When I was 3, I moved abroad to Abu Dhabi. I lived there for 6 years, and during those 6 years, I got introduced to YouTube. Now, the first YouTuber I ever watched was Jacksepticeye, and I still watch Jacksepticeye to this day. And once I started watching Jacksepticeye, I grew obsessed with YouTube, and I grew obsessed with his content. Until I grew obsessed so much that by the time I was 10, I was begging my mum and dad to let me start a YouTube channel. We were in Tenerife at the time on holiday, and they agreed to let me start one when we got back home. So while I was on holiday, I was recording myself on my iPad doing little vlogs in my hotel. When I got back and I started my YouTube channel, it was called The Merchant Fish, and this would be my first YouTube channel and my first step into content creation. I posted on that channel as much as I could. For being 10, I couldn't edit anything, it was all raw on my iPad. I ended up deleting that channel when I went into secondary school. I did this because I wasn't happy with it being online, and I felt like I would be bullied for it. I'd also done an acting group when I was younger as well, but I stopped that also due to the same fear of bullying. Throughout my secondary school, I had multiple channels online. I had multiple Twitch channels, YouTube channels, TikTok accounts. None of them took off, and none of them felt like me, because I felt like I was trying to be a different person than who I really am. It took me a long time to realize who I am and who I want to be. During secondary school, I never seen myself as a good person or a kind person. I was mean to people, I was horrible to my mum and dad, I was horrible to my siblings, I was horrible to myself. After, during secondary school, I had my goals set on being a robotics engineer. I then left secondary school after my exams to pursue an apprenticeship, which I stayed at for 3 months. I left that apprenticeship after 3 months because I didn't like it and I didn't feel like it suited me. This caused a lot of arguments between me and my family for a long time, and they told me I needed to get a job or go back to education. So I was ready to ship off to the army. I was ready to go do my fitness test and go to basic training. And my mum sat down with me and she asked me, "Are you sure?" And I said no, but I thought it would make them happy. So I took one last gamble and I applied for college. I applied for a media and journalism course, and to my luck, I got accepted. So I withdrew my application for the army, and I went and I did this course. I fell in love with this course, and I loved the media, and I loved everything that was in this course. I loved video editing, everything about it. And I never went back for another year. Instead, I got a job at a local shop, and I changed my career to welding. I went for my first year of welding, and during that first year, I landed an apprenticeship, a welding apprenticeship. And I was there for 5 months, and then the workshop shut down. I then got another job during the summer break, where I was there for 2 weeks, and they let me go because there wasn't enough work. During that time, I also had a car, and it wasn't the best car, but it was my first car. And I was driving home from my girlfriend's one night, and it was raining, and the roads were wet, and there was tractors out, and it kind of moved everything into some sort of icy conditions in the middle of summer. So, with my girlfriend in the car, I lost control and we flipped 3 times. It was the scariest moment of my life, and I feel horrible about it every day. I feel like I could have done something different, I could have changed the outcome of it, but there was nothing I could do. It scared me to get back into a car and to drive on that road again. but I've done it multiple times now and it's absolutely fine. I know how to stop that from happening. I know what to do now. Um, so I went back to college for the second year. I had no car and I felt awful. My beard was scruffy. I was unkept. I was a mess. I was in a very bad place at that time. Um, I also met my girlfriend in my first year of college, and she's been with me the entire way. So during the second year, there was a lot of ups and downs in my life, and I completed the second year of college for welding, and I didn't land a job in welding at all. So it really affected me. I felt like I was a waste of time and I was doing nothing with my life and everything that could go wrong was going wrong. So I became a postman and I was a postman for a good few months and then I landed a job at a hydraulics company. And I was only a labourer, but I was determined to move up in that job and expand my career. I went away over our Christmas holidays. I was there from October to January. We went away to Paris for New Year's Eve. And I found out on the day we flew back home that my great uncle had passed away. So I'd went back to work and I was told that same week that I was losing my job. So since January, I have been unemployed. I didn't know what to do, so for the first month, I was just applying and applying and applying and begging for somebody to take me. And then I said to my girlfriend, I said, I think I would like to start up a Twitch account. And she said, do it. And I did, and we have 50 followers just now on Twitch, and it's incredible. It has been insane. It's been so much fun. And then I said, I think I'm going to start posting on YouTube as well. And I've posted a handful of videos and I'm already over 120 subscribers, which is mind-blowing. I do turn 20 this year. And it does scare me. I feel like when I turn 20, my life is over. I feel like I've lost all the chance to choose a career and choose a path. I feel like when I'm 20, I'm kind of stuck and I don't have any change of career. And I know that's not true because I've just started looking at cybersecurity, which interests me and I'm really amazed by it. I would love to do content creation full time, but I understand that's an unrealistic goal and it takes a lot of luck and a lot of time to get into it. So, as a failsafe, I would like to do cybersecurity. Now, my girlfriend's been with me through the ups and the downs. She's been with me when I've had enough money to take her on spontaneous trips and when I've had no money and I can't afford a drink. She's never once complained at me for it, and I'm so grateful to have her by my side and accepting me for who I am. It took me a while to find out who I am. When I left school, I was mean and I was horrible and I just wasn't a nice person. It all changed when I watched a show called Vinland Saga. It opened me up to kindness, to how people can change and how you're not the same person you were a couple years ago. And since then, I've only tried to be a better person. I've tried to spread more kindness and more love to everyone. And I think it's working. And I see it back towards myself. People are nicer to me. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I thought people would like to know who I am. So, my name is Zach. I'm 19. And I live in Scotland, and content creation has been my dream since I was a young kid. I did have a script originally that I was going to read, but I thought it would be better to do this raw. So there was no cuts, no forged bits. Everything would just come out how it was supposed to. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I've missed out a lot of my life in this video. But I think it speaks for itself on how I feel about those parts of my life. I've always wanted to start a business. I've always wanted to be a business owner. I've always wanted to do content creation. My girlfriend stuck with me through every failed business and every failed channel. She loves me and I love her. I don't think I could be the person I am today without her by my side. And I hope I'm just a nicer person in the future. And I hope this works out. I want to thank everyone for watching my videos and watching me on Twitch. It means the world to me. There's been a lot of issues come up in my life as of recently. So videos did slow down for a little bit and so did streams. I hope to get back on track with these over the next coming weeks. And I hope to see everyone there. But thank you for listening to who I am. And I hope to see you in the next video, which will be more lighthearted and back to normal. So, once again, thank you for everything.